News Channel 5 Network, this is Morning Line with Nick Barris.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us on Morning Line. Nick Barris with you here on a Wednesday. We've got a good show, as always, on tap for you. We're going to open up the phone lines and invite you to join in the conversation with our guests. Sadly, in recent weeks, and it comes in waves, but sadly, in recent weeks, we've seen more high-profile suicides. And when that happens, if there is anything that comes out of some degree of this when it's a high-profile individual that does this, it opens up the dialogue again about what's out there in terms of help, how big of a problem it is, and how we all need to deal with this. And so, of course, with Kate Spade, Anthony Bourdain, that made the headlines yet again. And so, while we've done stories in the newscasts, we thought we would do a show on the Plus this morning for a full hour, basically getting into the details of, the big picture, as well as here in Tennessee, and as always, getting into, what's available for help out there when people are feeling that level of despair. So the number is 737-7587. If you'd like to join in the conversation, we'd certainly love to hear from you. We've got two great guests with us this morning from the Tennessee Suicide Prevention Network. Joanne Perley's with us. Good morning to you, Joanne.
Good morning.
And Misty Leitsch is with us as well.
Good morning.
And thank you both for coming on. I can imagine. It's true, is it not? Suicide is unfortunately always an issue.
Yes.
And many of them don't go reported. We make a point, by the way, in the newsroom. We don't report suicides unless it happens to be something that affects the, if the mayor were to do it, or if someone like that, at that level where it has a public, effect. Now, the difference, of course, I guess, is in some of these high-profile individuals like Anthony Bourdain, because everyone, well, he died all of a sudden. Well, people want to know why. Yeah. And when we do, oftentimes people will say in the reports or from police that someone committed suicide. But it's really died by suicide. And talk about the difference and why.
Definitely. So it's really important with that safe messaging. So as you noted, the media, when they do report on a suicide, it's really crucial to get that verbiage right, to sort of say what we need to say and educate the public when informing them about a death by Kate Spade, Anthony Bourdain, and the like. But the reason we want to not say commit is because there's a lot of judgment. There's a lot of baggage that can go along with that word. Yeah. So we want to be clear, we want to be upfront, we want to have no sort of connotations to a word and say died by suicide.
Died by suicide, did not commit suicide. And talk, if you would then, just so I'm clear, on the baggage that comes with using the word, say, committed, what you think the perception is. Because again, I think I've said it both ways, and I've probably said it more committed suicide in the past, and maybe this is a changing thing now, but go ahead.
And it's so much more common in our vernacular just to sort of say commit suicide. It just comes out more frequently. But we need to get away from that, because commit a crime. I see. And it does definitely harken back to the days when suicide itself was a crime.
It's no longer on the books as one, and it's kind of silly anyway, isn't it?
It is.
I mean, that would have been silly to begin with. So, so when someone is, now, I've seen people describe individuals that commit suicide that leave behind small children. I've heard people refer to them as selfish. Are people selfish when they commit suicide?
I'm gonna punt to you. No. So I definitely don't think so.
Okay. I'm just asking because I've heard that before. I'm not saying that.
So I know we all come with our own set of how we inform our thoughts around suicide, and that's definitely something that I'm really glad that we're able to be here this morning. Yeah. Because I personally I'm a survivor of loss. So with that, I come into a room and don't say that's selfish, but what can we do? What resources can we provide and make sure that everybody knows about, so that that is not an option for them. Right. For me, it's that focus on those resources, a focus on that help that they can reach out to whenever that might be.
That's good that just at the top of the show, and we'll get into a lot of that throughout, and we'll take phone calls as well if folks want to join in. But what other things do you think are out there still right now, even after all this time, that are maybe to some degree misconceptions, or what the public maybe sees suicide as? Maybe, it's not actually the case. Any other thoughts on that, as far as referring to it as died by suicide? That, anything else that you think is glaring out there that, the general public needs to understand?
There's just so many. I mean, I think the stigma around suicide, being able to say the word itself is huge on its own. I mean, it's very basic, really, if you think about it. But being able to actually say the word suicide. Are you thinking about suicide, and asking in that way? Being able to say that my loved one died by suicide, and using that word in a way that is comfortable and that is accepted by those around us is hard, and is definitely something we all can work on and all engage in.
Yeah, I think these days, I mean, and I've had loved ones that for one way or reason or the other maybe have said, well, I feel like I should just kill myself. What point do I have? And the way I'm taking that in the context when they say it is, it's to me, I think they're kind of saying that they don't necessarily really mean it, but I always take it very seriously. But I mean, how much can you do, really? When someone says that, then you may or may not think they're being serious, but I don't care who says it. When it comes out of their mouth, like you said, that word, I'll take it seriously. So what do you do? And you know, you always say there's these hotlines you can call. Now, the people that are thinking about this may or may not choose to call a hotline.
They may not.
Now, if you have a loved one or someone you care about that's kind of expressing this and you call it, well, how are you going to force them to do anything?
It's difficult, and it's definitely important to express and work with that loved one, with that friend, or with that person at Kroger. I don't know. Having that lifeline number and the text line number, it's so important to have those information, because we have stats, and I don't have them off the top of my head right now, but people do call these numbers.
Oh, I believe it. Sure, they wouldn't be there.
Exactly, they wouldn't be there, and a lot of folks do sort of have that wonder: do they reach out? What if they don't reach out, or will they text, will they call, what are they more likely to do? But there are so many different venues and avenues now of what an individual can reach out to for that help, for suicide prevention.
Okay, well, we're going to get some calls in, number 737-7587. We'll talk more on that and get into more of the details of this, but keep in mind, if you have thoughts or whatever, we'd love to hear from you. We'll take a break, be back with our guests, and continue the conversation right after this.